Ukrainian armed forces have struck a building housing Russian military personnel in the town of Koronivo in Russia's border Kursk region with a HIMARS multiple launch rocket system. Footage taken by a Russian serviceman in the area has been shared on Telegram channels. The strike reportedly killed most of the servicemen in the building. Russian Telegram channels reported that the strike hit a military hospital and that servicemen being treated there were killed. The servicemen being treated at the hospital had reportedly participated in the attacks in Ukraine's Sumy region in recent days.
Пизды не будет.
За что? Это какой, блядь, прилет был? Ужас.
As reported, Ukraine uses long-range drones to strike deep into Russian territory, targeting military infrastructure such as airfields, oil refineries, and logistics hubs. Ukraine has also developed long-range missile drone hybrids such as the Palyanitsia and Peklo models, featuring turbojet engines and as alternatives to cruise missiles. Recently, Ukrainian strike drones attacked a chemical plant in Russia's Ivanovo Oblast that supplies products for missile engine production, according to reports from the Astra news resource. At least 2 strike drones hit a supply warehouse at the Dmitrievsky chemical plant. The plant is located approximately 800 kilometers from Ukraine's state border. The facility reportedly is one of Russia's largest producers of chemical and petrochemical products for civilian markets. However, the plant also participates in supplying Russia's defense industrial complex. The Kiev Post recalls that it happened after that the Kremlin abandoned any pretense at seeking a ceasefire in talks with the US and renewed massive drone and missile strikes against Ukraine. So Kiev also returned to its tactic of attacking deep inside Russia that had been halted for more than a month at the orders of Ukraine's top military commanders as the hope of peace first appeared. It is noted that the number of Ukrainian aircraft breaching Russian airspace has now reached unprecedented levels. In the following 72 hours, Ukraine launched close to 1,000 drones at targets across western Russia in places like Oryol, Kursk, Moscow, Vladimir, Kostroma, Yaroslav, Kaluga, Tambov, Ivanovo, Nizhny Novgorod, Tula, Lipetsk, and Voronezh. Arms producers and manufacturers of components for materials for munitions have been heavily featured in Ukraine's wide-reaching and ambitious target list. Kyiv Post analysis reveals Ukrainian drones flew almost to the Ural Mountains into Russia's Tatarstan region to hit a drone factory in the region capital of Yelabuga. A drone strike reportedly hit the Shahed drone factory in Yelabuga, Tatarstan, marking another attack on a key military facility located in the Alabuga Special Economic Zone. The plant produces Shahed-type kamikaze drones used in daily attacks against Ukraine and has previously been struck multiple times since its construction in 2023. Footage recorded by local residents shows the trail of a surface-to-air missile launched from the area of the facility. Ukrainian telegram channel Exilenova Plus claimed that preliminarily there were several impacts at different points of the plant based on geolocation of available footage. Ukrainian drones attacked Tula workshops operated by the state-owned Russian arms giant Rosneft, which produces rocket artillery systems, air-to-air missiles, heavy flamethrower system vehicles, and incendiary munitions, according to independent Russian news reports, setting it and an adjacent electrical substation on fire. Drones attacked the Azot chemical plant near the town of Novomoskovsk in Tula Oblast, some 480 kilometers from Ukraine. Ukrainian drones on Thursday night also targeted defense manufacturing firms in Russia's Moscow and Orenburg regions. Ukrainian military spokespersons said drones had struck targets in the Bryansk and Vladimir regions. The occupiers understand that the illegally built Crimean bridge remains in the field of vision of the Ukrainian Defense Forces and therefore are creating an alternative route by land in the south of the country. The spokesman for the Ukrainian Navy, Captain 3rd Rank Dmitry Pletenchuk, spoke about this on the air of the telethon. They are investing quite seriously in the infrastructure on land in the occupied territories of the south of the country because they want to play it safe. Because the bridge, is in our field of vision and they understand perfectly well that it simply won't be able to stand there, Pletenchuk said. At the same time, he noted that the Russians are very carefully guarding the overpass that they illegally built across the Kerch Strait to the Ukrainian peninsula of Crimea, which was annexed in 2014. In fact, there have been no structural changes there for a long time in terms of security. They are really making every effort to preserve this facility. The so-called Crimean bridge is of logistical and ideological interest to them, said a representative of the Ukrainian Navy. In this case, General Ben Hodges, former commander of the US Army in Europe, expressed that the United States of America should not have started the negotiations between Ukraine and Russia with the idea that Kiev should give up some of its territories. This is before any real negotiations. I don't understand this approach. It's wrong. Ukraine should not give in to pressure and give up part of the territory, especially such a strategically important one as Crimea. Crimea is not just a piece of Ukraine because of its geographic location, Hodges said. He believes that Ukraine can return Crimea. In his opinion, this will cause a turning point within the Russian Federation itself. The general noted that Putin will not agree to diplomatic agreements that would provide for the renunciation of Crimea. However, according to Hodges, Ukraine can do this by force. I trust the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine. They are acting very wisely. Crimea must be isolated so that the Russians cannot either get there or retreat. This means that the large bridge must be destroyed sooner or later. Crimea must also become unusable. All this can be done through precision strikes, special operations and sabotage. When Crimea is isolated, then Ukraine will be able to take it back. In the end, it will be necessary to enter there with troops. But I cannot imagine a landing operation now. It is unrealistic in the conditions of a modern war with drones and long-range weapons, he explained.